twist, the slander of FEMA and the disinformation surrounding its efforts is intentional and paves the way for its ultimate demise. For those of you that are like, yeah, Project 2025 was authored by the Heritage Foundation, but there's like no guarantee that any of this is actually going to happen. During his administration, Trump implemented 64% of the recommended policies that the Heritage Foundation put out in their 2017 plan. So that feels significant. Now that we're in the aftermath of both Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, people are still assessing the damage, which was upwards of $47 billion just for Hurricane Helene alone. Who is going to pay for that? Someone's got to pay for that. So when these kinds of natural disasters occur, obviously people are like, help, we need help. They turn to the federal government, and it's agencies like FEMA that are the ones that step up and provide that assistance. But FEMA has been politicized, and all these insults and rumors are being hurled at the agency while it's trying to help all of these people, thousands of people. In fact, there's been so much disinformation that FEMA had to create a separate section on their website just to address it. Where was all this false information coming from, and why? Walk with me. Project 2025, mandate for leadership. It is the Republican playbook. It is their policy agenda should Trump be elected. Well, technically, it's their goal regardless, but a lot easier to implement if Trump is elected. It is an extensive document at like 900 plus pages. So there's many things that it hopes to achieve, but one of those things is to break up NOAA and its sub-agencies like the National Weather Service. Project 2025 calls for the National Weather Service to be privatized, to be commercialized, so that people would have to stream it like they do HBO. But FEMA also would be gutted. Let's start with this. Project 2025 is advancing that the government should only pay 25% in cases of a natural disaster, leaving the other 75% up to the states to cover, which almost every single state cannot do that. Then they want to raise the per capita threshold, which is how FEMA determines whether or not something qualifies as a natural disaster. They think it's too easy right now. They want to make it harder for people to qualify for funding. Somehow, it gets worse. Currently, the only national comprehensive flood insurance plan is through FEMA. Project 2025 says this is too affordable and the government should not subsidize it. Then Project 2025 calls for NOAA to use neutral language when it's talking about climate change. So not only would Project 2025 incapacitate FEMA and take away services like the National Weather Service from people who need them the most, but it would do nothing to mitigate additional extreme weather disasters because they want to deny the existence of climate change and refuse to enact the necessary measures to prevent future destruction. The same people who are claiming that victims aren't receiving assistance from FEMA and are actively spreading disinformation are the exact same people supporting the defunding of FEMA and raising the per capita threshold, which would make it harder for anybody to qualify for assistance in the first place. And they want to eliminate the National Flood Insurance Comprehensive Plan, which is how most people are able to afford that insurance in the first place. Absolutely diabolical. Protecting its citizens is like the main job of the federal government. Not the job of corporations, and not the job of private citizens. It's just literally the job of the federal government to step up and provide assistance for citizens in the wake of natural disasters. And then obviously do whatever they can to prevent future disasters from occurring. And Project 2025 is fundamentally at odds with that. Now, what you'll see is Republican rhetoric and fact checks saying, well, we don't want to get rid of FEMA. We're not trying to end NOAA or the National Weather Service. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. False. By incapacitating these agencies and sub-agencies, by removing their funding and their support structures, that's exactly what they're doing. And that will be the outcome. They know this, and they're doing it on purpose. And the FEMA slander is all a part of that.